That's a PA announcement.
Who won first?
No. Plug it in. We're going to go. Okay, everyone. Everyone ready? Hello, everyone. Back in Planning, Utah. This is Lee Baker for the second half of our pregame show tonight, and we had a chance before the game to chat with Coach George Bales, who's the head coach of the San Juan High Broncos.
Testing 1, 2. Test.
And here's what the coach had to say before tonight's game.
Really? Who won first place? We're all first place. Really? The Indian coach is the best. Whose one was dirt? Rocks. They won?
But I can't beat me. I know I took them all.
Give me the cue, Shelby. Watch the cue from Shelby.
What's he going to do? Yell at me?
At San Juan High School in Blanding as the Broncos meet the Bloomfield Bobcats, a 3A school from New Mexico. San Juan defeated the Bobcats in Bloomfield 1 year ago. That game was also the second game of the season for San Juan High School. Broncos win it 13-7. We've got some announcements here in the pregame show before we get the kickoff underway. We would like to make note, if we could get the cameraman to pan to the left end zone, of the new Broncos sign in the left end zone. It was donated by the Booster Club, San Juan High School, Connie Nielsen, Jeff Black, Roger Laws. It was his Eagle project, and the Scouts. It was painted by the San Juan cheerleaders under the direction of Gary Guyman. As you can take note of the Bronco sign now down on the left end zone, a very attractive sign, and the Broncos are proud to have it. A couple of other notes here in the pregame show. Don't forget, coming up on Tuesday night at 7:30, the Broncos will have a Booster Club meeting. That will be at the high school library. And another thing we'd like to point out here in the pregame show, you might have noticed that the San Juan Broncos are wearing black tomahawks on the back of each of their helmets. And this is in honor of Jimmy Mannheimer, who tragically passed away in an accident over the summer. And the Broncos have set up a memorial fund in honor of Jimmy Mannheimer, and they are taking donations to help with the costs of the funeral for the Mannheimer family. Again, the Broncos are wearing black tomahawks on the back of their helmets in honor of Jimmy Mannheimer. Captains Jens Nielsen and Perry Berenson meeting at the midfield stripe as the Broncos engage in the captain activities before the start of the ball game. San Juan is 1-0 on the season, coming off an exciting 14-12 victory over the Emory Spartans 1 week ago. The Bloomfield Bobcats, this is their season opener. Last year they were 2 wins and 8 losses on the season. The year before that they made it all the way to the state finals in 3A in New Mexico. And they dropped off last year as they lost a bunch of seniors in '81 to a 2-8 season. And this year they're trying to rebound with a brand new fresh season. This is their season opener. They are coached by Jim Cromartie. The San Juan Broncos, 1-0 on the season, are coached by George Bayless, assisted by Morris Swenson, John Hadabaugh, Dennis Jones, Neldon Cochran, and Klein Carroll. The Broncos are in their home blue uniforms with gold numerals and gold helmets. The Bloomfield Bobcats are blue and white colors. They'll have blue pants, white jerseys, blue numerals, and white helmets. As we get just about underway, before we get the kickoff, let's remind you of the Bronco injuries. Since the last game, Broncos have had 2 very key injuries. Corwin Yazzie is out with a toe injury. Troy Latham is out with a broken elbow. And those 2 key starters will not be in tonight's ball game. Jeff Marcel reporting on Channel 13 out of Blue Mountain Cable TV. And I hope you enjoy Bronco homecoming telecast on Channel 13.
Along with their 2 regular running backs. So the Broncos are going to be kind of hurting that position.
Yes, Lee, I looked at a list of...
We're just about ready for the opening kickoff here at San Juan High School. Beautiful night for football. No wind, not very many clouds, and it looks like a perfect night for football here at San Juan High School.
Bloomfield Bobcats are back in receiving formation. They'll get the opening kickoff, and we'll quickly run.
And now we pause for the playing of our national anthem.
Pacheco will be starting at one tackle spot tonight, an 185-pound senior. Chris Marquez will be at one of the guards tonight, a senior. Richard Kovacs at the center. Mark Spearman is one of the guards. And we're going to take a timeout right now. Time for our national anthem. We'll take a quick 30-second break and be right back. Hello, are you there? Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're getting ready to play the national anthem. Might have to play a couple of spots. Okay, listen, here's what I'm, you hear me? My normal cue for the end score is, you know, after, I'll say with 2:12 left in the first quarter, score San Juan 10, Bloomfield 7, back in 60 seconds, and back in 30 seconds. So then you'll know how many commercials to play. Okay, we're just getting rid of the national anthem now, so what is that, maybe 2 minutes? In the field? Oh, the national anthem is just starting. Why don't you just, at the end of that minute, come on back and we'll just let the national anthem play through it in that sound, okay? Just turn up so it's real loud. Okay. When they quit the national anthem, quit the whole start. I don't know. There's no way. You know, all we can do is drink beer, so we can't drink. Our phone's not in pocket, so we're on the air. So all I can do is like. Yep. Screaming, you know, because see the phone is on the side. On this the phone sitting across from the crossway, so it's a signal. Okay, we can go back on the air. Okay, send it back here right now. Football time, everyone. Good evening once again. This is Lee Baker along with Tony James, and we are in a very beautiful sunset evening in Blanding, Utah, as we get ready for, believe it or not, Tony, homecoming night.
We're ready for the opening kickoff for San Juan High School homecoming 1982 against the Bloomfield Bobcats. Jeff Marcel reporting. The San Juan Broncos lost the flip of the coin, and they will be kicking off. And again, Corwin Yazzie will not be kicking off. It will be number 73, Stacy Yazzie, kicking off for San Juan High School. Back to receive for the Bloomfield Bobcats will be David Bryan, number 15, Pat Hannigarty, number 33, and Luke Chavez, number 21. We're ready to go for this ball game. San Juan trying to stay undefeated on the season. They are 1-0 after a 14-12 win in their opener against the Emory Spartans, and San Juan trying to beat the Bloomfield Bobcats, a team they defeated 13-7 1 year ago in the second game of the season in Bloomfield, New Mexico. Pull back a chair, sit back, and get ready to watch Bronco football.
High school football season for the Bloomfield Bobcats.
Stacy Yazzie gets set to kick left to right.
Good practice last night. The kick is off.
It comes down to David Bryan. He takes it about the 15. He's out to the 20, to the 25, to the 30. He's hit and stopped at about the 34-yard line. He fumbles, but I do believe it was after he was ruled down. First and 10 up at the 35-yard line. Nice return by David Bryan of the Bloomfield Bobcats. They'll start first and 10 from their own 35. Let's set the offense for the Bloomfield Bobcats. At center, Richard Kovacs, 5'10", 175. The guards, Mark Spearman, 5'7", 150, and Chris Marquez, 5'6", 140. The tackles, Jerry Armenta, 5'11", 165, and Nick Pacheco, 5'7", 165. Tight end, Mark Alcorn, 5'10", 155. Wilbur Smith is the split end, biggest Bobcat at 6'1", 170. And the backfield, Luke Chavez, the slot back, number 21, 5'5", 130. Handoff up the middle to David Troxel, number 32. As we get set to set the rest of the backfield, quarterback is Mike Archibek, number 12, 5'8", 135-pounder. The backfield, David Troxel, 5'5", 150, and David Bryan, 5'5", 125. A small backfield for the Bloomfield Bobcats. On the first carry of the game, David Troxel picks up about 4 yards on the carry, and we'll call it 2nd down and 6.
For the Bobcats, we got Broncos and Bobcats on the line.
2nd down and 6.
White-shirted, blue-clad Bloomfield Bobcats. Now, there's a fumble on the play.
Fumble on the play at the 35-yard line.
Dropped the ball in the snap from center, and the ball falls back to about the 35-yard line.
You can expect fumbles on the first game. Second play of the game, possibly, in the first game.
3rd down and 1 yard to go.
Feelings out there for the Broncos on their
3rd and 1 or 3rd and 9. A 3-yard loss on the miscue there from Mike Archibek, the quarterback.
Out of the contest right now for the
3rd and 9 from the 36-yard line for the Bloomfield Bobcats.
Senior running back.
Broncos trying to hold. We still haven't set their defensive line. We'll get to it here in just a moment if we can. Mike Archibek drops back to pass, fires over to the right side, way overthrown, incomplete, and it will be 4th down and 9 for the Bloomfield Bobcats. That Bronco defense, as they're going to be coming off the field now, but let's check the defense. Perry Berenson at left defensive end, Roger Laws at left tackle, nose guard is David Nielsen, the right tackle is Kamika Fisher, right end David Black, the linebackers Craig Swenson, Farley Roberts, and Drew Van Dyke, the secondary Jeff Nielsen, Jens Nielsen, and Todd Black. 1 yard picked up by the Bobcats. It's 4th down and 9 now, and they will be punting. Wilbur Smith, number 80, will be doing the kicking. Back to receive for the Broncos, Delton Pugh and Jens Nielsen for San Juan High School.
21-yard line right now, waiting for the snap from center, and the referee finally puts the ball down, ready for play.
Smith bobbles the punt. He's not going to get the punt away. He fumbles the football. The Broncos are going to get the ball away. Perry Berenson rushing in there on the tackle. Nice play by Perry Berenson, and the Broncos have the first turnover of the game on a fumble. Wilbur Smith juggled the ball, and the Broncos will get it 1st and 10 on the Bloomfield 35-yard line. 1st and 10 on their Bobcat 35 for San Juan High School. And that's a big break here in the early going. San Juan gets it 1st and 10 at the Bloomfield 35, and let's set the Bronco offense. At quarterback is John Raymond. The backfield is Jeff Nielsen, number 32, and Sean Jack, number 40. Slot back is Drew Van Dyke. Raymond rolling back to pass, throwing deep down the middle for Jens Nielsen, and Nielsen cut one way. The pass went another. It falls incomplete. It's 2nd down and 10. That gives us time to set the rest of the Bronco offensive attack. Tight end is Todd Black. The wide receiver is Jens Nielsen, number 48. The offensive line, Craig Swenson, number 66. The guards are Perry Berenson and Ben Roberts. The tackles are Mark Guyman and Paul Martineau in there replacing Corwin Yazzie. 2nd down and 10 from the 35-yard line of Bloomfield for San Juan. In great field position for the first drive. Hand off to Sean Jack up the middle, and he stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain. 2nd down and 10. Make that 3rd down and 10.
Now they're going to mark the ball right on the yard line, so it'll be 3rd down and 10. Fired up.
Still at the 35-yard line of Bloomfield. Let's check that Bobcat defense. They run a 4-3-4. The 4 down linemen are Alex Ditsoe, Mark Spearman, Dean Chavez, and Jerry Armenta. The linebackers are Richard Kovacs, David Troxel, and Chris Marquez. The secondary, David Bryan, Pat Hannigarty, Mark Alcorn, and Luke Chavez. 3rd and 10, Raymond in a passing situation. Drops back, has some time, and now the coverage breaks down as nobody was open. It's a loss of about 7 yards on the play, attempting to pass for John Raymond. Alex Ditsoe, a 5'8", 170-pound defensive end, the left defensive end, drops Raymond for a 7-yard loss on the play. And it's 4th down and 17 yards to go for San Juan. Back to punt for the Broncos will be Paul MacDonald, number 23, for the injured Corwin Yazzie. MacDonald gets a good snap, gets a high punt, but it doesn't go very far, but it's going to go inside the 20. And it's down there by Jens Nielsen, and looks like they'll mark it around the 15, 16-yard line, and that's where the Bobcats will start 1st and 10. And San Juan didn't move the ball at all in that last series. In fact, they went backwards 7 yards, and last year was a defensive struggle, and it looks like it might be another defensive struggle this year. First and 10 for the Bloomfield Bobcats now. Mike Archibek leads the team to the line, calling signals. The backs are in the I formation, and that's the formation they like to run out. There's a little reverse on the flanker around to Luke Chavez, number 21. Chavez goes from the 18 up to about the 21, a 3-yard pickup on the play to Chavez. Actually, they give a 4-yard pickup to Chavez, a 2nd down and 6 situation for the Bobcats. We'll call Chavez a flanker. He can call him kind of a short back, a slot back. But he goes out for the pass and also will run some running plays as well. Wilbur Smith goes out to the far side, the split end. Alcorn staying in, and now going in motion is Chavez. Here's a pitch to number 33, and that's Pat Hannigarty. Hannigarty picks up some good yardage up close to the 1st down before he's brought down there by David Black and Todd Black. And looks like there might have been a penalty flag on the play. Let's check the penalty there, and it's going to go against the Broncos. And that will pick up 1st down number 1 for the Bloomfield Bobcats. And that's a major penalty against San Juan. Moves the ball all the way up to the 41-yard line, face masking against San Juan. The Bobcats rotate their backfield quite a bit. David Troxel and Stacy Hooley will be seeing action at fullback. Seeing action at tailback will be David Bryan and Pat Hannigarty. The backs are in the I formation now. Archibald calling signals, goes back to pass. Big rush is on, and he's sacked in the backfield. Clear back to the 30-yard line by big Perry Berenson, the 6'3", 190-pound left defensive end, Perry Berenson. That's a loss of 10 yards on the play. Archibald attempting to pass, and it's 2nd down and 20. The Broncos make it 2nd down and 20 now for Bloomfield at their own 30-yard line. Berenson, 6'3", 190 senior, number 58 coming in from that left defensive end position. San Juan runs a 5-man defensive line with 3 linebackers and 3 backs. Jens Nielsen, the strong safety back there now. Todd Black at the corner. Jeff Nielsen the other corner. Archibald's back to pass. He's in big trouble going backwards, and he is going to be run out of bounds for a big loss way back to the 16-yard line. Run out of bounds there by David Black and number 54, Roger Laws. Good pursuit by the Bronco down lineman. Roger Laws, the left tackle, and David Black, the right defensive end, crashing through there, moving Bloomfield all the way back to the 14-yard line. That's a loss of 16 yards. Archibald having some trouble throwing the football, loses 10 yards his first attempt to pass. This time he loses 16 scrambling in the backfield, and that makes it 3rd down and 36 yards to go for Bloomfield, and the Bronco defense is looking tough here in the first quarter of play. 7:20 left to go in the first quarter. No score, just underway here at San Juan High School. Back to pass is Archibald, deep downfield, almost broken up by Jeff Nielsen. A fine defensive play, but a super catch by Wilbur Smith down around the 38-yard line. Jeff Nielsen was all over Smith. Smith came up with an acrobatic catch, clear up to the 37-yard line. That goes from the 14 all the way up to the 37. Big pickup for the Bobcats. 23-yard pickup to Wilbur Smith. And again, good coverage by Jeff Nielsen. He was all over Smith, and Smith made an excellent catch. He's 6'1", 170, and he had the height advantage on Jeff Nielsen. But it's still 4th down and 14 yards to go, and Wilbur Smith will now do the punting. It's a very poor kick taken by Drew Van Dyke, I believe, the short man. He was a heads up. He wasn't even kicked near back to the coverage. Drew Van Dyke heads up, caught the ball, and kept it from taking a roll. And the Broncos have good field position once again. 1st and 10 at their own 47-yard line.
So we'll now go to the defense for the Bloomfield Bobcats.
San Juan takes over. 1st and 10. John Raymond calling signals. Sets the line. Backs are in the I formation. Jeff Nielsen, the fullback. Sean Jack, the tailback. First man through. Jeff Nielsen has a hole, and he'll get 3 or 4 yards before he stopped there by the middle of the Bloomfield line, Mark Spearman and Dion Chavez. And they call that a 3-yard pickup for Jeff Nielsen up the middle. Running behind Craig Swenson, Perry Berenson, and Ben Roberts. Coming in now is David Black for the San Juan Broncos, replacing Todd Black at the tight end position. 2nd down and 7 left to go, or 2nd down and 7. Broncos at the 49-yard line of Bloomfield. Raymond calling signals, rolling out to the left side. He's going to run with it, and he'll just pick up a couple of yards before he's stopped there by the right defensive end, Jerry Armenta. And they'll give Raymond maybe a 1-yard pickup. Well, let's give him 2 yards on the carry. Third down and 5 yards to go for San Juan High School. Coming back in now is Todd Black, replacing Paul MacDonald. Third down and 5 yards, a long 5 to go for San Juan High School. 48-yard line of Bloomfield. San Juan trying to get something going offensively. Neither team has been able to move the ball to this point. Raymond rolling out this side. He's going to run all the way. It's an option play. Pitches back to Sean Jack, and Jack breaks the tackle and gets down inside the 40, maybe a first down. Nice run by Sean Jack. Number 40, Raymond, made a nice pitch. And it's going to be a first down at the 39-yard line for the San Juan Broncos. That's a pickup of 8 yards for Sean Jack on the carry. And give credit to John Raymond for a nice option play, well-executed play by the Bronco left-handed quarterback, number 9. Sean Jack is a 5'10", 145-pound junior. The fullback now is David Black, number 33. First and 10 for San Juan at the Bloomfield 40. Raymond back to pass. Rolling out to the left side. He's out of the pocket now, scrambling, looking for a receiver. Can't find anybody. He throws it away, and it's intercepted by number 82, and that's Alcorn. Mark Alcorn getting the interception. Free safety Mark Alcorn picks it off, just a junior. And that's the first turnover on the San Juan Broncos. Bloomfield gets back the football. We had a low-scoring game between these two teams last year, 13-7, San Juan on the winning end of that score. And it looks like we might have another low-scoring game this year as these two defenses are dominating once again. First and 10 at the 27-yard line for Bloomfield. Luke Chavez calling signals, hands up to the first man up the middle, and it'll be about a 3-yard gain on the carry. When they unpile, we'll catch the number there. It was Troxel, David Troxel, number 32, with a 3-yard carry. Second down and 7 for Bloomfield at their own 30-yard line. 4:37 left to go in the first quarter of play. No score here at San Juan High School in Blanding. Jeff Marcel reporting. Backs are again in the I formation for the Bobcats. Chavez, first man up the middle, and it's Troxel, and he's got another couple of yards before stopped in the middle by, again, the middle of that Bronco line.
Fullback trap. Use pull the guard, and where the fullback was, and where the guard was, the fullback goes, and he's there.
Third down for the San Juan Broncos now.
Looks like we have a flag on the play. The referees are having a conference.
Might have been a penalty marker on the play. The referee referring with the Bronco captains.
See what the referees call here.
Let's see if the play goes. Troxel went up the middle for a couple of yards on second down, and they're marching backwards. Good news, as it's going to be on the Bobcats. Good news for the Broncos, and it's a major penalty against Bloomfield, and it's a holding violation against the Bloomfield Bobcats. Both teams now have one major penalty for 15 yards. That will make it third down and about 15 yards to go for Bloomfield at their own 22-yard line. San Juan with a pretty big size advantage over the Bloomfield Bobcats along that line. Make that second down and 15 yards to go. Chavez, Archibek back to pass. In and out of the hands of Smith. It's intercepted by the Broncos. Racing down the far sideline, and it's going to be close to the goal line. First and goal to goal for the San Juan Broncos. Picked off there by the San Juan Broncos.
And it looks like it was Jim Nielsen. We'll get a number there right away for you. Ball went off the hands.
Broncos with a big interception. Looked like number 89, Dale Roberts, coming into the ball game, playing defensive back, a 5'7", 135-pound senior. Hasn't seen much action so far this year. Gets in the ball game and makes it count. First and goal for San Juan. Play goes up the middle to Jack, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. Fumbles the football, and Bloomfield has it. And another turnover on the ball game.
First and goal inside the 5-yard line, and again the Broncos are stymied by the Bobcat defense.
Fumble on the San Juan Broncos, and first and goal up the middle. Sean Jack took a heavy hit inside there, and the Bobcats escape disaster there. Both teams now with 2 turnovers apiece, and a quick couple of turnovers there. First and 10 now for the Bloomfield Bobcats at their own their own 2-yard line. After the fumble, Broncos couldn't cash in on a golden opportunity there with first and goal. Archibald up the middle. Troxels has some running room. He's into the secondary, and he might have a first down up around the 15-yard line. Making the stop is Farley Roberts for the Broncos, but not before a first down 13-yard carry for Troxel. Troxel has now carried 3 times for 20 yards.
Another fine pickup by David Troxel for a first down for the
That's the second first down for the Bloomfield Bobcats.
tonight.
Archibald is 1 out of 3 with 1 interception so far. The one big play was the 23-yard completion to Smith. First and 10 now. Hand up to the middle to Troxel. Good running room again. Del Roberts makes the defensive play. And Troxel has another good gainer up the middle. He's up past the 20-yard line, up to the 22, and that's a 7-yard pickup for Troxel. 4 carries for 27 yards now for David Troxel. Second down and 3 for Bloomfield at their own 23-yard line. This will be a long drive for Bloomfield. Again, they started on their own 2-yard line. Second down and 3 for Bloomfield at their own 23.
Second down and 3.
Handoff up the middle. Troxel has another hole, but this time he's brought down nicely. Unassisted tackle by Craig Swenson. Swenson, a 5'9", 165-pound junior, with a fine unassisted tackle. And let's see if he got Troxel before the first down. No, Troxel still picks up 3 yards on the carry, up to the 25-yard line.
That'll be another first down. Let's see, they're marking it now. We'll have to wait and see.
And that's the third first down for Bloomfield, up to the 25, and they're moving the ball nicely now, opening up some nice holes. Archibald now sets the line, another first and 10 now from the 25-yard line. Handoff up the middle, and it's buried underneath this time. Kamika Fisher making the play, number 76, a 6', 190-pound senior, clogging things up immediately at the line of scrimmage as he was keying on Troxel that time. And Troxel picked up little or no yardage on the play. In fact, they'll just turn over the yardstick and call it second down and 10. No gain for David Troxel.
Limping a little bit, and we'll let you know, see when he gets back in the game. Looks like Dion Chavez has been back. He's going to play on offense now for the Broncos, for the Bobcats. Mike Archibald calling the play in the huddle. It'll be second down and 10 with just under 2 minutes.
Second down and 10 now for Bloomfield, still at their own 25, 75 yards away from pay dirt.
On the wing, on the left.
Archibald pitches out. The back goes up the middle. It's Bryan, I believe, and he's going to be up near the 30-yard line. David Bryan, the tailback, gets 4 yards. Second out, third down and 6, make that from the 29-yard line for the Bloomfield Bobcats. Big third down situation here, third down and 6 from their own 29. Bloomfield needs another first down to establish field position after coming up with a goal line stand on the fumble after San Juan had a first and goal. 1:19 left to go in the first quarter of play. Archibald on third and 6, he loses the snap, big pile up, and the Bobcats have it back, but it will be fourth down, and San Juan holds. Bloomfield did move it from the 2 all the way up to the 27, got a couple of first downs, but San Juan's defense holds, and they should still get good field position on this exchange. Fourth down and 8 yards to go for Bloomfield. That was a fumble on the snap from the quarterback Archibald, and he lost a couple of yards. And now it's fourth down. Wilbur Smith will be kicking, number 80. Fine wide receiver, 6'1", 170-pounder. Needs to get off a deep kick. Delton Pugh and Jens Nielsen back to receive. Here's a nice high kick. Going over is Delton Pugh. Pugh takes it on the run. He's to the 45, to the 40, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 37-yard line of Bloomfield. Delton Pugh, who returned a kickoff for 80 yards and a touchdown last week for the game-winning touchdown, has a fine punt return here, taking it at about the 45-yard line of San Juan and going all the way to the 37-yard line of Bloomfield. And we'll give Delton Pugh about 17, 18 yards on the punt return there, and he took it nicely in the air on the run. And San Juan, thanks to Delton Pugh's fine punt return, gets excellent field position. First and 10 at the Bloomfield 37-yard line. Raymond calling signals on first and 10. He drops straight back to pass, looks for a receiver, fires out for Drew Van Dyke, and it's just a little bit overthrown, incomplete. Second down and 10 for San Juan. Raymond, who started out very hot in the first half against Emory, is 0 for 3 with an interception here in this ball game. The Bobcats secondary seems to have the Bronco receivers covered a little bit better than the Emory defense did. Watch for Jens Nielsen, number 48, coming to the far side, or the near side, this wide receiver, number 48. Well, in fact, Jens Nielsen comes right on out of the ball game. He's out of there right now. Second down and 10. Raymond hands off up the middle to Sean Jack. He stopped after a short gain. Jack struggles and drags a couple of tacklers and will get about 1 yard on the carry. The first quarter coming to a close. San Juan faced with a 3rd down and 9, and that's the end of the first quarter of play with the score. The San Juan Broncos nothing, the Bloomfield Bobcats nothing. I'm Jeff Marcel reporting for 79 KUTA.
We'll be back in 30 seconds.
San Juan faced with a 3rd and 9, and we've got some movement on the line of scrimmage.
Looks like we'll have to see. Looks like it'll be offside.
No score in the ball game in case you just joined us. Neither team has showed capabilities to move the ball on offense. Both defenses have dominated so far, much like the game last year, a defensive struggle. Jeff Marcel reporting. Homecoming at San Juan High School. Big crowd out here to watch the homecoming festivities coming up at halftime. Drew Van Dyke and Jens Nielsen come to the left side on a 3rd and 7. Across the middle, Jens Nielsen in and out of his hands, and it's incomplete, and that will make it 4th down for San Juan.
So again, it'll be 4th down for the San Juan Broncos.
That last penalty was an offside against the Bobcats. And now it's 4th down and 5 at the Bloomfield 33-yard line. And let's see if San Juan elects to punt and try to establish field position and pin him in the corner. And looks like that's what they'll do.
Looks like they are going to punt. Paul MacDonald.
Paul MacDonald punted last time. This time it is not Paul MacDonald. Punting for the Coffin corner. Aiming down there, Jens Nielsen can't get it before it goes into the end zone. Brad Shumway was doing the punting. And he couldn't quite hit the corner as it goes on into the end zone. 1st and 10, Bloomfield starts at their own 20-yard line. And again, they do not have very good field position. So far, Bloomfield has started on their own 35, the Bronco 47, their own 2, their own 37, and again now, this time they'll start on their own 20. 1st and 10 for Bloomfield at their own 20-yard line. They're now going left to right across your radio dial.
Chris Marquez, 1st down and 10 for the Broncos.
San Juan would like to hold right here and get some real good field position. They haven't been able to move the football against the tough Bloomfield defense. Going in motion is Chavez to the left side. Pitch to David Bryan, the tailback. Has a couple of yards before he's drugged down there by Jeff Nielsen, number 32. Jeff Nielsen also in there helping out was Craig Swenson, number 66.
Also a flag down on the play.
Flag down on the play. 11:33 left to go in the first half. Looks like a penalty against the San Juan Broncos. And it's a 15-yarder, the second 15-yarder, for a total of 30 yards for San Juan in penalties. And that's 1st down. Another face mask against San Juan. That's 1st down number 4 for the Bloomfield Bobcats.
Ball's up near the 37-yard line. 1st down and 10 for
Still no score, just underway in the second quarter of play. Jeff Marcel reporting 1st and 10 for the Bloomfield Bobcats at their own 37. Handoff to Troxel, and he stopped at the 40. Check that, Bloomfield was at their own 38, and Troxel gets 2 yards up to the 40. Troxel, a workhorse, has already carried 7 times for 32 yards. 2nd down and 8 for Bloomfield at their own 40, and now they have some pretty good field position.
So ball's on the 40-yard line. There are 11 minutes left in the first half. No score.
2nd down and 8 for Bloomfield now.
Flanker to the right and the wing to the right.
I formation. Archibek hands off to Troxel. Troxel breaks a couple of tackles. He's up close to a 1st down. David Black finally makes the stop on Troxel along with Farley Roberts in there. But Troxel picks up good yardage. Let's give Troxel a carry of 8 yards. And David Troxel is averaging 5 yards a carry. He's carried 8 times for 40 yards. Just short of the 1st down, I believe. And they'll mark it 3rd down and inches. And I believe they're going to measure, as a matter of fact. That gives us time to tell you that the biggest selection of Indian arts and crafts in the Southwest can be found at Blue Mountain Trading Post in Blanding. They are helping to bring you San Juan football on KUTA. Another Bronco football sponsor is Payday Drugstore in Blanding. Payday Drug stocks gift ideas for all occasions, as well as the right card to accompany that gift. That's Payday Drug in Blanding and Blue Mountain Trading Post, two of the fine Bronco sponsors this year on KUTA.
And it's about half a yard shy of the first down, so it'll be third down and 1.
Troxel was just short of the first down, and they'll call it third down and inches. Still the backs are in the I formation. Archibald calling signals, and we'll have an encroachment penalty on David Black, number 33, jumping a little bit eager to get in there and stop the Bobcats from making the first down, and that will give the Bobcats first down number 5. 5-yard penalty on the San Juan Broncos. That moves the ball into Bronco territory. First and 10 for Bloomfield at the Bronco 49-yard line. 10:43 left to go in the first half. Still no score. Coming this side is Wilbur Smith. Archibald calling signals, backs in the I formation. Second man is Brian. He loses his balance but keeps going forward and gets good yardage, but a flag is down on the play. This play might be called back. Looked like Brian might have picked up around 7 or 8 yards, but it looks like it won't count because of a penalty on the Bobcats. The referees are conferring with the Bronco captain Perry Berenson, and looks like San Juan will take the penalty. Lyman Truck Line is one of this year's Bronco football sponsors. You can always depend on your packages arriving at their destination quickly and safely when you send them on Lyman Truck Line.
That's going to make it first down and 15. 10:37.
First and 15 now for Bloomfield, back at their own 47-yard line. They move back into their own territory. Penalties are relatively even. San Juan has 30 yards in penalties, Bloomfield with 25. Archibald hands off up the middle to number 30, Stacy Hooley, the backup fullback for David Troxel, and Hooley will pick up about a yard or two on the carry. We'll give Hooley a couple of yards. His first carry of the game, giving Troxel a breather. Second down and 13 or 14 on the carry. Still no score. Neither team has shown much spark offensively. Both defenses have dominated to this point.
Second down and 14. Hooley picked up 1 yard on the play.
Bloomfield still in their own territory at their own 48-yard line. Second down and about 14. Archibald hands off to Brian. Brian gets back to the original line of scrimmage, lunges forward for a few extra yards before he's tackled by Roger Laws, number 54, a 5'10", 150-pound junior. David Bryan with a nice carry, and we'll give him about 7 yards on the pickup. Third down and 7 now for Bloomfield, and they're at the San Juan 47.
Third down and 7. That penalty was a tough one to get because they have a first down right now.
Big third down situation here. Archibald hands off to Brian. Check that, it's Hanegarny, and Hanegarny is stopped in the backfield by Craig Swenson, number 66. A fine defensive play, and that's the second unassisted tackle by Craig Swenson, number 66, the linebacker for the Broncos. 5'9", 165-pound junior for San Juan. Hanegarny lost a yard on the carry, and it's fourth down and 8 for Bloomfield at the San Juan 48, and they will be punting, trying to pin San Juan against their own goal line. Back to kick again is Wilbur Smith, number 80. Back to receive for the Broncos, Delton Pugh and Jens Nielsen. Perry Berenson rushes the punter, but Smith gets it away. It's going to bounce between the Bronco return man and goes into the end zone, luckily for the Broncos, and San Juan gets it at the 20-yard line. First and 10. Fine punt by Wilbur Smith. Credit him 48 yards on the punt and no return, but San Juan does get it. First and 10 at their own 20. John Raymond, the left-handed quarterback, coming out trying to find the offensive combination. The Broncos haven't got the ground game going. So far, Sean Jack has carried 3 times for 9 yards, had the one big 8-yard pickup, but the Broncos have only 1 first down to this point, and now they're going to try and get an offensive drive going here. Backs are in the I formation. Jeff Nielsen, the fullback. Sean Jack now goes beside him And Raymond drops back to pass, looking deep downfield for Todd Black, overthrown Todd Black, and it's 2nd down and 10. Raymond now 0 for 4 and still yet to connect with one of his receivers. Todd Black and Jens Nielsen were both out there. It was a little bit overthrown for Black and a little bit underthrown for Jens Nielsen, and it's 2nd down and 10 for San Juan.
On defense, we should mention that
This game is brought to you in part by the Utah Navajo Development Council. UNDC is striving for continued progress in education and employment for Utah Navajos. That's UNDC.
you might want to watch that film. Number 56, Kovacs always goes
2nd down and 10 now for San Juan. Another passing situation.
weak side. 2nd down and
Raymond calling signals. He rolls out, reverse to Jens Nielsen around the right side. He has some running room. He's to the 25, to the 30, and he has a 1st down. A wide receiver reverse for Jens Nielsen. He's up close to the 1st down right at the 30-yard line. A pickup of 10 yards for Jens. And he gets a 1st down. That's the 2nd 1st down of the game for the Broncos.
Slot back and just gave him the ball, make it the end around, or slot around as somebody would call it.
Let's give Jens Nielsen an 11-yard carry on the reverse. 1st and 10 for San Juan at the 31.
a pickup of 11 on the play, so they have 1st and 10 on their own 11-yard line with 8 minutes.
Raymond rolling out to the left side, breaks one tackle nicely, breaks end around the right side, has some running room. He's to the 45, to the 50-yard line before he's finally brought down there by Luke Chavez, number 21. John Raymond did a fine job to get away from a tackler right at the line of scrimmage and then broke into the secondary for a big pickup of 19. Well, they mark it actually at the 48, so it's only a 17-yard carry for John Raymond.
For the Broncos, number 74 was also lead block.
But Raymond did a fine job there, was almost up to the backfield, broke away, and I believe the Bobcats defense let up a little bit when they saw that one of their teammates might have Raymond in the backfield, but Raymond broke the tackle and then had a lot of running room. Jeff Nielsen up the middle, loses the football, another fumble, and looks like Bloomfield has it once again. Turnover number 3 on the San Juan Broncos. 2nd fumble, along with 1 interception. The Broncos finally got things going with their 3rd 1st down, moving the ball from the 20 all the way up near midfield.
But they cannot go inside on them.
We've got Bobcats and Broncos here.
1st and 10 for Bloomfield now.
We're going to try to keep it straight for you. 8-10 left.
Bloomfield starts at their own 48-yard line. Real good field position after the turnover. San Juan moved the football 30 yards that time. Looked good on offense with a nice play by Jens Nielsen and a nice run by John Raymond. But the turnover cost them again. Now Archibek hands off to Troxel, and he's buried there by number 56 of the San Juan Broncos.
San Juan Broncos, and that is
New man into the game, and that's Ben Roberts playing on defense.
Roberts, who met Troxel head on that.
Check that. That was Perry Berenson, left defensive end, not Ben Roberts. 58 and 56 look a lot alike.
That was a good hit by the linebacker on that play. Pickup of a yard.
Yes, it was Perry Berenson, the left defensive end, number 58, making a nice defensive play. And it's just a 1-yard carry for Troxel. 2nd down and 9 from midfield for Bloomfield. Archibek rolling back to pass. Black is after him. It's a fire pass deep downfield, and it might be intercepted. It's intercepted, but a penalty flag is down. Let's wait on the call. Hold everything. A penalty flag is down. Was it after the interception? Before the interception? Todd Black is the Bronco who picked it off. And let's wait for the indication. Let's see if the Broncos will retain possession. 7:20 left to go in the first half. Still no score. Both teams committing a lot of turnovers. San Juan with 3, Bloomfield with 2. And it looks like the penalty is after the interception, and it will benefit the Broncos. And you couldn't ask for a better play from San Juan's point of view. First, the 2nd interception tossed by Mike Chavez. Todd Black with the interception, and after the interception, a face masking penalty when they went to tackle Todd Black. And San Juan now has the football 1st and 10 on their own 46. Todd Black picked it off at the 31, then 15 yards, moves it up to the 46. San Juan, excellent field position. Raymond, a quickie over the middle. It's incomplete, intended for Jens Nielsen. A lineman got a hand on it and batted it away. And Raymond is 0 for 5 now, still yet to find his favorite target, Jens Nielsen, who caught 6 passes for over 100 yards last week. 2nd down and 10 from the Bronco 47, trying to get on the board here in the first half. Still no score. The left-hander calling signals, backs in the I formation. Raymond drops back to pass again. Across the middle, here's a completed pass to Todd Black, the tight end. Pick up of 5 yards over the middle to Todd Black. Raymond now is 1 out of 6 through the air. Todd Black with a 6-yard pass reception. 3rd down and 4 yards to go now for the Broncos, and they move into Bloomfield territory at the 48. San Juan has 3 first down. Bloomfield has 5. Both teams have 3 turnovers. 3rd down and 4. Big 3rd down conversion attempt here. Raymond pitches back to Sean Jack. Takes a kind hop for Jack, but Jack is going to be buried in the backfield for a loss. Raymond was hit right on the option play as he's trying to pitch back to Jack. Made a bad pitch. It bounced in front of Jack. It took a kind hop, bounced right into the hands of Jack, but by the time he got the football, the defense had pursued, and Jack loses about 4 yards on the carry. 4th down and 8. San Juan back at their own 48-yard line, and again, it's a punting situation. In to punt for San Juan will be number 82, Brad Shumway, just a sophomore for San Juan, replacing Corwin Yazzie. Shumway gets a nice high kick. Comes down to the 20-yard line. It's over the head of Wilbur Smith. It bounces now toward the end zone. San Juan tries to down it around the goal line. Can't get there in time. Bloomfield will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. With 5:55 left to go in the first half, still no score. San Juan football is being sponsored by the Blanding Home Center. For all of your hardware, plumbing, houseware, and painting needs, visit the Blanding Home Center. For expert service on mufflers and exhaust systems, contact Causeway Service, your Shell station located on the north edge of Blanding. They are helping to bring you San Juan football on KUTA. That's the Blanding Home Center and Causeway Service, 2 Bronco boosters. 1st and 10 now for Bloomfield from their own 20. Handoff to David Bryan. Hits, he fumbles. The Broncos have it at the 20-yard line of Bloomfield. Falling on it is Farley Roberts, number 61. Making the defensive play to hit was Roger Laws, number 54. Bryan coughed it up, and Farley Roberts was right there for the fumble recovery. And that's turnover number 4 on the Bloomfield Bobcats. 2 fumbles and 2 interceptions. And San Juan is knocking on the door here. 1st and 10 on the Bloomfield 19-yard line. Big break, nice hit by Roger Laws, and a nice recovery right there by Farley Roberts. John Raymond calling signal. San Juan trying to get on the board here. Raymond looking for a receiver. Wide open is Drew Van Dyke. He's got a touchdown. Drew Van Dyke split the defense. He was wide open, and John Raymond threw a strike. Drew Van Dyke with a 19-yard touchdown pass, and the jubilation from the San Juan Broncos. A 19-yard touchdown pass from John Raymond to Drew Van Dyke. A one-play drive from the 19-yard line. 6-0 San Juan. The score comes with 5:42 left to go in the second quarter. Todd Black will be on to kick the extra point for San Juan. And the Broncos finally capitalize on one of the Bobcat turnovers. Todd Black trying for the extra point is blocked. It will be no good. And again, the loss of Corwin Yazzie becomes apparent once again. But the Broncos are on the board with a 6-0 lead after a fine 19-yard touchdown pass from John Raymond to Todd Black.
30 seconds.
Number 9, John Raymond, number 28, Drew Van Dyke, for the Broncos out front. 6-0.
Hello.
San Juan is on the board, leading by a score of 6-0 now.
Okay, can you call during the next
Bloomfield with 4 turnovers in the first half. San Juan has 3.
2 seconds left in the half.
As we're getting ready for the kickoff.
You say when.
Hope you're enjoying KUTA's coverage along with Blue Mountain Cable TV of Bronco football on Channel 13.
A nice pass play, and they're getting ready to kick off at 6-0 with 5:42 left in the opening half. Bobcats have
Kicking off now for the San Juan Broncos. Let's see if it will be Stacy Yazzie once again. Yes, it is. Number 73, Stacy Yazzie. Broncos piecing together a kicking attack. Corwin Yazzie did all of the kicking, and now they've had several players doing various phases of the kicking game. Stacy Yazzie does the kickoff. Here's a nice kick down to one of the Bobcats. He's up to the 30, to the 35, still on his feet up to the 37-yard line. Pat Hannagarney, I believe, number 33 on the kickoff return there. Nice return from about the 20 up to the 38 is where they'll mark it. 1st and 10 for the Bloomfield Bobcats. And now they need to mount a scoring drive down 6-0. The thing that's hurt the Bobcats is those turnovers.
Again, they've had good success, the Bobcats have, running between their tackles. Most of their yardage tonight has come on the ground between the tackles. Smith again flank to the right. Chavez on the wing.
Archibald calling signals. 1st and 10 up the middle, and there's nothing going there, but a flag flies as well. Up the middle to Drexel. He stopped at the line of scrimmage, and this clipping is what Drew Van Dyke claims anyway. Of course, he's not the official, but Drew claims he was clipped.
Now we're getting a little thing is going wrong.
5:17 left to go in the first half. San Juan leading 6-0 over the Bloomfield Bobcats. Big crowd here in Blanding cheering on the Broncos in their homecoming ball game. Looks like a major penalty against Bloomfield. Bronco football is brought to you by Southern Utah Industries. The employees at Southern Utah Industries, apparel manufacturing plant here in Blanding, take pride in their quality work. That's Southern Utah Industries, a San Juan football sponsor. That's a 15-yard clipping violation against the Bloomfield Bobcats. They now have 55 yards in penalties. And Drew Van Dyke was right. He did call it. It was a clip. And that makes it 1st down and 25 yards to go now for Bloomfield, way back. And let's see, it'll be way back to the 27-yard line, I believe. Backs are in the I formation. Wilbur Smith split to the near side. 1st and 25. Archibald hands up the middle to Troxel. Breaks through the middle of the line. Plows through a couple of tackles from the 25 to the 35. A 10-yard pickup for Troxel. Troxel, a fine fullback. Even though he's only 5'5" and 150 pounds, Troxel is showing promise, and he's just a junior for the Bobcats. 59 carries for 50 yards for David Troxel. He gets back 10 of the 15 they lost on the clip. It's 2nd and 15. Again, Smith comes out to this side. Chavez is in the slot position, backs in the I formation. Archibald is back to pass. Fires down for Wilbur Smith. It's intercepted again by Todd Black. Interception number 2 for Todd Black. And that's the 3rd interception served up by Mike Archibald. Todd Black with his 2nd interception. San Juan takes over 1st and 10 on their own 48. The right cornerback, Todd Black, number 84, a 5'10", 160-pound junior, has picked off 2 Archibald passes. And the Broncos are in business again. Turnover number 5 on Bloomfield. 1st and 10 on their own 48-yard line. Again, excellent field position. Handoff up the middle to Jeff Nielsen. Spins and falls forward for a good 4 yards. Nice run by Jeff Nielsen up the middle for 4 yards. Well, let's give Jeff Nielsen 5 yards on the carry. Jeff Nielsen hit at the line, broke a couple of tackles, and spun for a couple of more yards. Fine run by the Bronco fullback, 5'10", 155-pound junior, number 32. 2nd and 5 for San Juan. They're at the Bloomfield 48. They're into Bobcat territory. Backs are in the I formation. Raymond looking for Jens Nielsen. Timing pattern, and Nielsen makes a diving catch. What a catch by Jens Nielsen down at the 32-yard line. A timing pattern. Raymond threw that before Nielsen even looked at the ball. That goes from the 48 to the 32. A 16-yard pass completion to Jens Nielsen, and Raymond is suddenly heated up. He was 0 for 5, and now he's 3 for 8, including a touchdown pass. 1st down, number 4 for San Juan. San Juan now at the 32-yard line of Bloomfield, and that was a beautiful diving catch by Jens Nielsen and a fine throw from Raymond. Full house backfield now with Van Dyke in the backfield. Everybody's moving, and that'll be a penalty on the play.
That's Dion Chavez, the tackle, the senior tackle. We'll wait to see who jumped first, as the referees talk about it amongst themselves, and the Bobcats on their own are walking back. So it looks like we may get a call against. Now it's going to go against the Broncos. The Bobcats.
Jeff Marcel reporting on Channel 13 from Blue Mountain Cable TV. Hope you're enjoying the telecast, the simulcast. The penalty goes against the Broncos.
The quarterback for the Broncos is left-handed. They're having success passing to the left on number 33 of the Bobcats.
5-yard penalty against San Juan. That's their 35th yards in penalties. Bloomfield has 55 yards against them in penalties. 1st and 15 back at the 37-yard line for San Juan. Sean Jack and Jeff Nielsen. I believe David Black is in there now. Raymond is back to pass, looking for Jens Nielsen deep downfield. It's intercepted by the Bobcats. Number 33, Pat Hannagarney, had Jens Nielsen covered like a blanket. And that's turnover number 4 on the San Juan Broncos. Interception number 2. And the Broncos have 2 fumbles, and Bloomfield gets it back. 1st and 10 on their own 25-yard line. 3:28 left to go in the first half. I'm sure both coaches are not at all pleased with the turnover ratio. Broncos with 2 fumbles and 2 interceptions. Bloomfield with 2 fumbles and 3 interceptions.
Led by Mike Archibek. They have David Bryan in the backfield right now, along with David Troxel and Luke Chavez. And flanker to the left.
3:25 left to go in the second quarter. Archibek hands off to Troxel, and he stopped at the line of scrimmage. Might have got a couple of yards before being brought down there by Drew Van Dyke and Jeff Nielsen.
Actually, the Bobcats are not very big, and the Broncos...
Well, actually, Troxel got a little bit more than I thought he did. Let's give him 3 yards on the carry.
Scoreboard says it's 2nd and 8, a pickup of 2 for David Troxel.
Troxel is now carried for 53 yards for the Bloomfield Bobcats.
Pretty good first half of running the football. The Bobcats have managed to...
If the Bobcats can stay away from some turnovers, they could be in pretty good shape. They've been moving the football, but 5 turnovers in the first half are very costly. Handoff up the middle.
he spins loose.
Bobcats runner doing a fine job there. Number 30, Hooley, Stacy Hooley, the backup to Troxel. And he broke several tackles there. And let's see where they finally mark it for Hooley.
Near a first down. He got 4 yards on the play.
And it looks like a 4-yard, maybe 5-yard pickup for Hooley. His second carry has 7 yards. 3rd down and 1 yard to go now for Bloomfield. The ball is resting on their own 37.
They had a tough go on the offense in the opening few minutes of play. Actually, it's 3rd down and 1 with 2:10 left in the quarter. Ball up.
Archibek trying to pick up a big first down here now. Pitch out to Bryan. He's running for the first down. He has the first down.
Pitch back to David Bryan.
David Bryan with the first down for the Bloomfield Bobcats.
Up near.
He's finally stopped there by Farley Roberts of the San Juan Broncos.
Ball's up near the 40-yard line.
5'9", 140-pound junior. San Juan has a lot of juniors on their team, and they figure to be very strong next year as well. That's first down number 6 for Bloomfield.
We have a timeout on the field.
And going from the 37,
In the opening
well, I mean the 33 up to the 38.
timeout.
About a 5-yard carry for David Bryan.
A little bit about this opening half so far, Tony. The Bobcats made a lot of mistakes, but they could have been behind more. They were down their backs against the wall with 1st and goal in the 2. The Broncos fumbled, so the Bobcats held there while they recovered. They did left the 1 touchdown, and they were in danger of having scored.
2 minutes and 1 second left to go in the first half of play. San Juan out in front by a score of 6-0 on a 19-yard touchdown pass from John Raymond to Drew Van Dyke, the flanker. The extra point failed after the touchdown, and that's the score, 6-0.
2 minutes and 1 second left.
1st and 10 now for Bloomfield. Archibek back to pass. Drops way back. David Black is all over him. It's thrown up for grabs. Drew Van Dyke bats it away. David Black gets a good pass rush from his right defensive end position, and Archibek had to release the ball before he was ready, and Drew Van Dyke batted it away. It's 2nd down and 10 for Bloomfield.
We have 2nd down and 10 with 1:54 left now in the
2nd down and 10 now for Bloomfield from their own 39. Another timeout on the field. A beautiful moon just coming up over the horizon here at San Juan High School. With 1:54 left to go in the first half,
1:54 left in the opening
a beautiful yellow moon is just now making its appearance over the horizon here in Blanding on a beautiful night for football.
Yeah.
Broncos in front 6-0. As you watch the Broncos
3 after 1, okay.
discussing strategy during this timeout.
7 for Cortez, 3 for KC.
1:54 left to go in the first half. Hope you're enjoying
Give me the other score.
the telecast here on Channel 13 Blue Mountain Cable TV. Nelson Shumway operating the camera for us.
You don't have a Durango Aztec yet, huh? Oh, okay.
And it looks like it's more than just a regular timeout. It's an injury timeout as well, as an ambulance has entered onto the field.
Right now, the Kirtland Central Broncos, who are down in Cortez playing, are trailing, the Broncos are trailing Cortez by the score.
Drew Van Dyke is the injured Bronco, number 28. He's the same player that caught the touchdown pass for San Juan, and that could be a costly injury to San Juan.
Now, the score is 7-6, and before we have it, that is also in the first quarter.
And the ambulance is on the field, and Van Dyke appears to be
Well,
seriously injured. We don't want to speculate here.
And they start fooling with the guy's leg. Could be possibly an ankle, could be possibly a knee, and not the knee.
It is wide receiver, flanker back, Drew Van Dyke, 5'11", 165-pound.
They have taken the pads and helmet from Drew Van Dyke, and he will be taken away in the ambulance, and that's a costly injury to the Broncos, and that's something the San Juan Broncos can ill afford. Stephen Cochran is out with an injury, a broken hand. Larry Turk is out with an injury. Troy Latham is not even in Blanding tonight. They tell me he's over in Durango, as he has a seriously broken elbow, and he's out. And now Drew Van Dyke appears to be banged up somewhat here, and we hope it's nothing serious.
There's 1:54 left in the opening half. Score 6-0 in favor of the San
And Corwin-Yazzie is also injured, but he should be back next week. He just has a minor toe injury, just enough to keep him out today, or for this game, and he should be back by next week.
Actually, the ball's on about their own 30.
But something the Broncos have had problems with this year, not only are they having injuries, most teams have injuries, and you've got to expect injuries, but they are having injuries to some of their top players. When you have injuries to your kickoff man, punter, the guy that kicks extra points, field goals, and kicks off for you, Corwin-Yazzie, and goes both ways on the line, you lose your starting backfield in Turk and Latham. And now your starting flanker is down on the field, and the Broncos are not having good luck in the injury department this year at all. San Juan leading 6-0 on a 19-yard touchdown pass from John Raymond to Drew Van Dyke. Raymond is 3 out of 9, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The leading ball carrier is also John Raymond, who has scrambled twice for 19 yards. That one big scramble where he picked up 17 yards was the big play. The Broncos do not have much total yardage here in the first half. The Bloomfield Bobcats has been very tough. Of course, 4 turnovers doesn't help matters either, but Bloomfield has had 5 turnovers.
Again, turnovers have played a very important role in the game with 9.
And unfortunately, it looks like they will be carrying Drew Van Dyke off on the stretcher. John Raymond on the sidelines trying to stay warm. And we have a long delay in the action, and we again hope that he is okay.
Still down on the field right now. Again, it's been a tough half for the Bobcats. As we said, they had an inexperienced quarterback. Both defensive ends are pretty inexperienced, and they had a good pass rush at the start of the game. But after going 0 for 4, 0 for 5, quarterback for the San Juan Broncos, John Raymond, started lighting it up a little bit and completed 4 or 5 of his next.
Still a delay in the action as the Broncos
for a 19-yard touchdown.
Coaches are attending to Drew Van Dyke.
We're getting a report, an injury report.
It looks like Drew Van Dyke might have broken his leg on the far sideline, and that's a very tough injury. If that's the case, a broken leg, Drew would be out for the season, to go along with Larry Turk, who might not be out for the whole season, but it looks like Troy Latham might be another starter that could be out for the season.
Ones that scored for the game last week, they won 15-12.
Their 2 running backs and their kicker are not playing tonight. And that again is playing a big role in the fact of how the Broncos have done. Again, we had some problems, but before the game, Coach George Barris told me that we might throw the ball a lot more tonight, although they ran last week in their opening game, that they were going to put the ball in the air.
And that's exactly what they've been doing. They've been present to their strong point, doing the split receiver on the left side with the quarterback being left hands. That's naturally where you go.
Again, they're
still a break on the field as they attend to Drew Van Dyke.
Take care of Drew Van Dyke, the flanker back, and now they're putting a mini ambulance. We're going to find Anthem folks, some of Bloomfield Bobcat fans who are on that side.
And it looks like we're just about ready to get back to action here at San Juan High School. 1:54 left to go in the first half.
We have second down and 10 now for the Broncos. 1:54 left in the opening half.
Back to the action now as Archibek drops back to pass, fires it down the far sidelines, out of bounds, and it will be incomplete. Archibek now 1 out of 7 on the play.
From the right defensive end for the Broncos, but
Drew Van Dyke now being taken off in the ambulance with what appears to be a pretty serious injury, a possible broken leg, and he could be out for the season. And another bad injury report for the San Juan Broncos.
at an angle back away from the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down and 10 for the Bobcats.
Third down and 10 yards to go. Under 2 minutes left to go in the first half of play. San Juan out in front, 6-0.
Even though he's a right and a quarterback, he should be spinning out to the right side.
Third and 10. San Juan trying to hold on here, and we've got some movement on the offensive line for Bloomfield, and that will be a 5-yard penalty. And that's 60 yards in penalties against Bloomfield.
5 more yards marked off probably against, there goes the referee. 5 more yards marked off against the Bobcats. That'll make it third down and 15.
1:49 left to go in the first half. Third down and 15 yards to go for Bloomfield. First down is clear up around midfield. They're on about their own 35-yard line. Passing situation as Jens Nielsen, the strong safety, drops deep back. They hand off to Troxel, breaks into the secondary, and he's finally stopped at the 45. 10-yard pickup for Troxel before brought down there by Jens Nielsen. Troxel has carried 11 times for 63 yards now, but it's 4th and 5, and it looks like a punting situation for Bloomfield. Dropping back and to receive the punt will be Delton Pugh and Jens Nielsen. Wilbur Smith, I imagine, will be again doing the punting. 1:16 left to go in the first half. Broncos in front 6-0 at their homecoming game against the Bloomfield Bobcats. Wait a minute, the Bobcats are going for it on 4th and 5. And it's encroachment on David Black once again, and the Bobcats will get a first down on this. It was a short 5, and David Black jumps off sides, and that could give Bloomfield a first down. And that will be 40 yards and penalties against San Juan.
Well, the Bobcats have already gotten a first down by way of encroachment.
That's another 5 yards marked off against the San Juan Broncos, and they will have a talking to from their coach who's out in our huddle.
First half dragging along now as the play is really slowed down with a lot of penalties and timeouts. We still have over a minute left to go in the first half. San Juan just trying to get that clock run out and hang on to that 6-0 lead here at the half. Now, the way these two teams have been moving the football, not very effectively, either team, that 6-0 score could stand. It doesn't look like we're going to have much of an explosive ball game, and San Juan is hoping to get into the locker room with this 6-0 lead. Bloomfield has it 1st and 10 after the offside penalty at their own 49. They're still 51 yards away from the tying touchdown.
A lot of yardage on the ground tonight running. They haven't had much success in the air, but they have picked up a lot of yardage by way of running between their
Another first down for Bloomfield. They definitely lead in the first down category. 7-4.
Again, Smith's flank to the right, with Chavez on the wing.
Bobcats with a first down now at their own 49-yard line. Archibek back to pass, straight drop back, looks deep downfield for Wilbur Smith. A beautiful pass. Smith makes the catch, and it's broken up. No. Jens Nielsen breaks it up. Looked like Smith had the ball. What a beautiful pass by Archibek, right in the numbers of Wilbur Smith. Smith had it, and Jens Nielsen was right there to knock the ball away. A fine hit by Jens Nielsen.
Ball hit him right between the 8 and 0, and it was a good play by the defensive back.
1 for 8 now for Archibek with 3 interceptions, having some problems against the tough Broncos secondary.
Second down and 10.
Under a minute left to go as the clock stops on the incomplete pass.
That's the first time tonight they've done that. That was
Second down and 10 for Bloomfield from their own 49-yard line.
Bobcats, inside,
Backs are again in the I formation.
Again, Smith to the right.
Archibek fakes a pitch back, throws across the middle, intercepted by the Broncos. Again, guess who? Todd Black with his 3rd interception. He has a lot of running room. He's to the 30 of Bloomfield. Flags fly all over the field, and he's down to the 30 of Bloomfield. Todd Black with interception number 3. What a game for Todd Black.
Todd Black, another interception.
The right cornerback, Todd Black, playing himself quite a ball game. The flag was definitely after the interception this time on the run back. Todd Black intercepted it about his own 40 and ran that ball back for about 10, 20, 30, 40 yards, clear down to the Bloomfield 30. A fine return by Black, but the return is all for naught as it comes back on a clipping penalty on the return. So San Juan's will start 1st and 10 on the Bloomfield 45.
5-yard line with 46 seconds to go first half. Again, San Juan ahead 6-0. The Bobcats try to hold on for the final 46 seconds of the half.
46 seconds left to go in the first half. San Juan trying to get another quick score here. Raymond out across the middle. It's intended out there for Delton Pugh, incomplete.
And that's going to fall incomplete.
2nd out and 10, but it stops the clock. 38 seconds left to go. 6-0. Broncos still out in front here in the first half.
San Juan Broncos.
David Black, number 33, coming in for San Juan, as you can see. Also coming in is Theron Yoakum, number 42.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Broncos as they...
Raymond faced with a 2nd down and 10 situation.
Again, Raymond back to
rolling out, fires downfield, intended for Jens Nielsen. He's got it down at the 35-yard line. It's close to a 1st down, and there's a flag flies after Nielsen is brought down. Could be a piling on. Jens Nielsen has cut his 2nd pass of the ball game. Raymond is now 4 out of 11. And that goes from the 45 down to the 35, about a 10-yard pickup for Jens Nielsen.
Luke Chavez, who was helping make the tackle.
Piling on after Nielsen was brought down, 15 yards on to the 10-yard pickup, and the Broncos are in good shape now. That puts it down to the 22-yard line of Bloomfield with 30 seconds left to go in the first half, and San Juan now has a chance to get some more points on the board before we go to the locker room for the first half. Bloomfield having some problems, 75 yards in penalties and 6 turnovers. With those numbers, you would think the Broncos would be leading by 80 points, but they have 40 yards in penalties and 4 turnovers themselves. 1st and 10 from the Bloomfield 23. Theron Yoakum and Jens Nielsen coming to the left side. Raymond back to pass. The screen is on. It's overthrown, intended for Todd Black. And a flag is down again, and this is back in the area of either holding or roughing the passer.
The Bobcats had the blitz on that time. They had all the linebackers coming. And, I think that quarterback John Raymond had to throw that ball before he wanted to.
26 seconds left to go, and let's check the call. And it might be a roughing the passer penalty, and the Broncos might be the beneficiary of another major penalty on the Bobcats.
Not much time ticked off the clock, just 4 seconds on that play. And again, they're going to mark off yardage against the Bobcats. And this is
another major. This one will be half the distance to the goal line.
Down to just near the
but Bloomfield has now 90 yards in penalties in the first half.
And again, it's going to be
first down for San Juan. Broncos now have 6 first downs unofficially. 26 seconds left, 1st and 10 at the 11. Raymond back to pass in the end zone for Nielsen, leaping and incomplete. Jens Nielsen leaps forward and can't quite get to it. On 1st and goal from the 11-yard line after the piling on penalty, John Raymond to Jens Nielsen, incomplete in the end zone. 22 seconds left to go in the first half. 2nd down and 10 from the 11-yard line of Bloomfield. After Todd Black's 3rd interception, San Juan threatening for another score here. 2nd down and 10 from the 11-yard line. Theron Yoakum and Jens Nielsen to the left side. Raymond fires across the middle. It's in and out of the hands of Jens Nielsen. It drops incomplete, almost intercepted by the Bobcats. Alcorn almost picked it off, and it's 3rd and 10 now. Raymond now 4 out of 13, and yet another flag is down on the field. 18 seconds left to go in the first half. The last 3 minutes have seemed like forever here in this ball game. Broncos want to get a point on the board, and again, the loss of Korwinyazi looms large here. The Broncos were in field position, but we've got a 15-yard penalty against San Juan.
We have
The penalty flag is holding against the Broncos. 15-yard penalty, and that moves him out of field goal position. Clear back to the 24. Raymond will be trying to push it down to the goal line now. Rolling out on the quarterback option to the left side. He's going to run, and he runs down to about the 21-yard line. 3-yard carry for John Raymond. Another timeout on the field. Raymond has carried 3 times for 22 yards. 10 seconds left to go in the first half. Another timeout on the field. Broncos are at their own, or at the Bobcat 21-yard line. Third down, and about 20 yards to go.
When in a passing situation, they put the flanker and the split end to the left side.
And the San Juan Broncos have a couple of plays left here to try to move it on into the end zone.
They have everybody going to that side, and they have 4 and 5.
The Broncos have a couple of new players into the ball game. Number 42 is Theron Yoakum, 5'10", 155-pound senior. Also, Delton Pugh has been in there replacing Drew Van Dyke, and Pugh is number 83, a 6', 165-pound senior.
Right now, but the referees have started the clock, and we have 3rd down and 20, and you can look for another pass play from quarterback John Raymond this time against the Bobcat defense.
The Broncos come up to the huddle, come up to the line of scrimmage out of the huddle. 3rd down and 20 yards to go, 21 for the touchdown. They can get a first down if they get down to the 1. 3rd down and 20. Raymond on a reverse to Jens Nielsen. He's coming around but has nowhere to go. Nielsen just picks up a couple of yards, and a nice defensive play by David Bryan, number 15. Only 2 yards for Jens Nielsen, and that didn't fool the Bobcats at all. 4 seconds left to go, and yet another timeout has been called on the field.
Flanker around it for the beginning of the first half, excuse me, the beginning of the first quarter for a success of about 8 yards, and that play you did the Bobcats wrap up something for 2.
Spot for the Bobcats tonight.
Both these teams are having trouble throwing to...
With only 4 seconds left to go in the first half, the score is San Juan 6 and the Bloomfield Bobcats nothing. I'm Jeff Marcel reporting for 79 KUTA.
Again, we have 4 seconds left on the clock.
Broncos have one more play, probably. I don't think they can get 2 off before the end of the first half. They would like to get the ball into the end zone and a chance for another touchdown. Jens Nielsen comes to the left side. Raymond drops back to pass. Fires out to the right side, and the receiver has it, and it's close to a touchdown. And it's a touchdown. And is that number 23? I believe it is. Number 23, Paul MacDonald, with a touchdown reception from 21 yards away. Paul MacDonald, number 23, a 6'2", 160-pound senior, the backup tight end, comes in and gets a 21-yard touchdown pass from John Raymond on the final play of the first half. And San Juan is now in business. Raymond is now 5 out of 14, 2 touchdown passes. And that was to MacDonald.
They're going to go for 2. And we have Bobcats jumping off.
San Juan going for 2, and flags fly everywhere. 12-0 Broncos now as they score on the final play of the first half. Paul MacDonald coming into the ball game on the far sideline, gets into the corner of the end zone. A beautiful over-the-head pass by John Raymond. San Juan Broncos leading 12-0. John Raymond with 2 nice touchdown passes, one from 19 and one from 21. Broncos going for 2. Handoff to David Black. He dives over the goal line for a 2-point conversion. David Black, number 33, gets in for the 2-point conversion, and the Broncos lead 14-0. Let's recap the scoring of the first half. Broncos got on the board first with a 19-yard touchdown pass from John Raymond to Drew Van Dyke. The extra point failed, and the Broncos led 6-0. And then on the final play of the first half, a 21-yard touchdown pass from John Raymond to Paul MacDonald. The extra point is good on a 2-point conversion by David Black. San Juan is out in front by a score of 14-0 at the end of the first half of play. Stay tuned in just a moment. We'll have the royalty here on Channel 13, Blue Mountain Cable TV.
As we all know, it has been homecoming week here in Blanding. And at this time, we would like to present before you the homecoming royalty. And here come the lovely ladies now. Second attendant this year for homecoming, Miss Bonnie Brown. Escorted by number 58, Perry Berenson. First attendant in this year's homecoming royalty, Corey Perkins. Assisted by number 9, John Raymond. And the homecoming queen for 1982 here at San Juan High School, Fernay Hunt. Escorted by number 48, Jens Nilsson. And we would like to also thank Mr. Klein Black for the use of his shiny Cadillac to escort these lovely young ladies out onto the field. And let's have one more big hand for the royalty.
He's also had 4 passes intercepted.